Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome to Casebook 1899, the Leipzig Murders. Thank you, developer, for the code via Lurkit. Point and click adventure. There is voice acting, but I believe it's only in German, so I'm gonna turn off the voice acting and just read out the lines myself, so that, since, except they're in German, nothing against it, just easier when it's English for how I do it. Anyways, first thing I've noted is that cursor is bound to the screen and there's no toggle for it. Ah, pet peeve, especially with two monitors. Anyways, new game. The year is 1899. We find ourselves in Leipzig, a burgeoning industrial metropolis in the heart of the German Empire. Let's take a moment to enjoy the sight of the bustling activity on the marketplace. One person who cannot take pleasure in it is Hannah Faber, a former teacher who had to give up her profession due to blindness. She is eagerly awaiting the return of her lodger while listening to her housemaid playing the piano. Now, if I keep playing, my fingers will get all knotted up. That's alright, Gretchen. You played it very beautifully today. Besides, my lodger will probably be coming home soon. And pass the time with his stories. I wonder what adventures did the inspector experience today. The report of his investigations is always so captivating. Gretchen, you are not secretly listening at the door, are you? That's not really proper for a housemaid. I beg your pardon, Miss Faber. I'm only joking. If you want to listen to the stories, you're welcome to leave the door open. During the summer, the drought is always welcome anyway. The draft. And if I'm not mistaken, I just heard the inspector's keys in the lock. Also, this is totally auto-scroll. I'm barely keeping up with reading it. Good evening, Miss Faber. Gretchen, let me sit down for a spell. My investigation led me through half the city today. But at least the hard work paid off. Does that mean that there is now one less criminal roaming the streets of Leipzig? You don't really care to give breaks to a worn inspector, do you? However, the storytelling should pass time until dinner. Probably best if they started right now. That way I might even finish before the food reaches the table. If I'll start this morning in my office in the police station. I stood by the window and looked out the hoverful hustle and bustle of winter. I had lost myself in my own thoughts. It's also really hard to read and had to make an effort to get back to work. Like, just the contrast is really hard to read. I'm like straining and just barely able to read in time. I get the stylistic bit, but A, it's auto-scroll, so you're already having to read it fast. And B, it's like dark blue on black. Enough daydreaming. I should really be getting back to work. Left click to move to the click location, right or left click to examine, left click to interact. Somebody seems to be at the door. Yeah, my eyes are like feeling strange right now. As befits a civil servant, the Emperor adores the walls of my office. Certificate commemorating my appointment as a detective. It makes me proud whenever I see it. Yeah, keep knocking. A somewhat kitschy landscape. The mountains radiate a peculiar calm. Ow, my eyes are just feeling straight. Whew. The window is closed and the shutters are in place. Can't investigate the alphabet over there? My houseplant, it could do with a little water. Guilty as charged. I picked up the lantern, I guess. A helmet for my time as a patrolman. I don't really like to think back on it. I never had the money for proper shoes back then. I always felt the cobblestones through my soles. I can still tell which street I am on just by looking at the pavement. Alright, fine. I'll answer the door. Lock the door so that I could work undisturbed. He is not here. Wherever could it be? Detective Crazer writes down all observations in a notebook. Scroll down and press N to access it. Click on 2 observations, one after another, to combine them and then unlock new actions. Is it on the desk? Most recently, I worked on the case of a Roswitha Rosenlocker. I took the documents out of my filing cabinet just this morning. Okay. Look at the filing cabinets. I keep the files on my cases in this cabinet sorted by last name. It's actually not too shabby a system with only one shortcoming. There's no room for Z. Woohoo, I got the brain. I may have put the key in place of the Rosenlocker files this morning. Open the drawer. Here we go, the key. Scroll up or press I to bring up the inventory. Click on an item in the inventory to activate. You can use items in inventory or in the game world. Does not need to be unlocked. What? Patrolman Helm! Nice to see you. Left click to start a dialogue with a person. Right click to examine the person. Patrolman Whelm, good man who has what it takes to be more. He seems to want to tell me something. Good morning, Inspector Crazer. You have a new case. Another one. What have we got this time? Escaped lions. Have the lions escaped from the zoo? Speed and danger indeed have something to do with it, minus the wildlife. Again, the dark blue. Burglary. Is it a burglary at a grocery store? Well, your case is also exotic and luxurious. It doesn't involve the colonies. Am I supposed to pick up the body of a woman who committed suicide again? No, it's probably not suicide this time around. Am I supposed to catch a fraudster who has defrauded furriers? You couldn't be more wrong. Who would think of doing something like that? You would be surprised at the illustrious company that you find yourself with. I give up. Tell me, what is it? Certainly, one of those new motorized vehicles drove into the water in the Plogwitz district. And why would a traffic accident need an inspector? Because apparently foul play took place and the driver is now dead. You go on ahead and secure us a carriage. Yeah, it's just... I think it's set to the German voicing, and it's just, oh, a little too fast for me? Click on the exit to call up the map. Inspector Crazer can use it. So if there was like an option for auto scroll or not, that would be, I think, good. You can get it set so that you can just either have it auto scroll or manual. Also, better, just like contrast. Those dark blues are brutal, or just the blues on the black is brutal. Unless it's like a very light blue. Click on the exit to call up the map. Inspector Crazer can use it to travel to new places. To do so, simply click on the pin. Your game will be saved automatically when you enter a new location. PlayStation... Colneret's Bridge. I love the art style. It's just... the speed of the dialogue is just... getting me here. Ah, Plugwitz, where you can never see the sky, not even on sunny days due to all the smoke. And who do we have here? Gustav Mobius, what brings a prosecutor to the scene of a traffic accident? My dear friend, this is by no means an ordinary accident. Because this is the first dead body we've had to recover from a motor vehicle? Oh no. Assessment? What about exactly? Whether the city would need an ordinance in regulating automobile traffic. But to be honest, I'm having doubts as to whether this was an accident. Also, there's no click protection. What makes you think that? Oh no, my dear Inspector, you will have to find that out for yourself. But I am of course at your disposal, should you need help. So like I missed a line because I happened to click because it was like, oh, this is a manual click. No, it's not. If you can't find some objects or feel stuck, you can speak to Gustav and Mobius to mark them. You can also press and hold the left mouse button on Mobius to quickly display all hotspots. Enough chit-chat. I have witnesses to question, evidence to preserve. Should probably talk to Patrolman Wilm first. Let's get to work, Wilm. What do we know so far? Only that the motor vehicle broke through the barrier at immense speed. And since the bridge was yet to be finished, the car plummeted into the river. The body. I assume that the body is the driver. Correct. The man was trapped behind the wheel and had to be pulled out by force. Cause of death. How did the man die? Doctor says he drowned. He apparently did not try to free himself. Alright. Identity. Do you already know who the dead man is? We have his documents. He has documents on him. His name's Edward Ulig, when he lives close to the Marion Bluffs. Good. I'll inform the family. Witnesses. Did anyone see the accident? The construction worker over there watched everything from his scaffolding. Cause of the accident. Do we already have a suspicion as to how the accident occurred? The brake band broke, and so the driver had no way of stopping the motor vehicle. I have instructed the patrolman to not touch anything, so that you can see for yourself. Good thinking, Whelm. And that's it for now. At your service, Mr. Inspector. Next to the construction site is a large pile of sand. I wonder what it's used for. This log. Can't reach it. Other vehicle must have been going quite fast. So much that it split the construction site barrier in two. Looks like the new bridge is still not finished. Man Endlich, mail order company and royal purveyor to the court. Rope? The brake band of the motor vehicle, the ends look smoothly cut through. Now I know what the prosecutor meant. Something doesn't seem to be right here. About this. As tempting as the toolbox is, I need a good reason before rummaging through it. Yeah, there's like no option to not have auto scroll, which is, it'd be nice if there was no auto scroll option. And you are? Hungry. I want my sandwiches, but these policemen won't let me back on the scaffolding. Can I still ask you a few questions at least? When I'm hungry, my head works slowly. Just be sure that means no, correct? So I'd have to satisfy your hunger first before you'll consider talking to me? Exactly. Okay, look at the vehicle. The motor vehicle is done for. It seems to have entered the river at great speed. Patrolmen are trying to pull it out of the river from the other side. Can I... Imagine that! Oh, well, I can't use the band. Inspector Crazer. Help. I'm stuck and don't know what to do. Take a good look around. There's still something to do here. Hotspots. Can you get your key now? I might suggest having a closer look around here. There's still something there? I guess I could look at the body. The tracks of the motor vehicle lead straight towards the bridge. The man seems to have drowned. He also has a pretty nasty headwind. What an extraordinary idea. I don't think it works like that. I'm doing the inspection thing. It's not finished. Do you have anything else to say to me? I have one more question. I don't have one more question. There's hold left, right? It's hold left for a really long time. The smokestack was... It's like the only thing I haven't... Exhaust fumes, an unmistakable sign of progress and prosperity. You won't find as much of it anywhere else in Leipzig as you will here in Plegwitz. Progress in exhaust fumes, I mean prosperity, won't be for a long time. Shall I borrow the hammer for a short... I will only borrow the hammer for a short while, if that's okay. I don't care... what do I... Hammer down the thing? If I hit the one frame hard with the hammer. Okay. Pick up the lunchbox. I give the lunchbox to the construction worker. Here are your sandwiches. Well, what do you know? The police are good for something after all. Ask your questions if you have to. Personal details. What's your name? My name is August Bowman. I'm the foreman here on the construction site. Hope I can get back to work soon. The bridge has to be finished after all. Show respect, a man has died. It's their own fault if you ask me. Anyone who uses a motorized vehicle must surely be tired of living. But I didn't ask you. Witness report. You saw the accident. I'd say I was at the top of the scaffolding when the maniac came racing down the road. Automobile. When did you notice the automobile? The minute he turned onto the road. He was going much too fast and turning from side to side. Headed straight for the construction site. Exactly. I thought to myself, why didn't he just step on the brake? But by then it was already too late and the car had crashed into the river. I was so scared I almost fell off the scaffolding. The bridge still isn't finished. As you can well see, and for the very dim-witted, we have put up barriers too. But that didn't stop this driver from going towards the bridge at full speed anyway. Let's talk about something else. Consult notebook. Brake band is broken. The vehicle apparently had no functioning brakes. Did the driver do anything else to stop the car? I wondered about that too. The driver could have hit the pile of sand. As in the last resort, he could have jumped off, but he drove straight into the river. witness statement, driver did not try to escape his fate. What more do you want? You only found that out with my help. Driver suffered a headwind when his car fell into the water. I don't know anything about that. Driver drowned. Driver drowned. Apparently he did not try to free himself. Just awful. Alright. I don't have any more questions at the moment. Please be available for further questions. Hurry up so I can get back to my work. I have one more question. No. Not try to swerve. Suffered a headwind. Okay, that was an idea. Question is whether the driver was conscious or not. What? Combine entries from the log notebook to draw logical conclusions. To do this, simply click on the options to select one. This unlocks new conclusions, but be careful. First impressions are often deceptive. Take your time. You can always change your mind. Could not react in time to avoid the accident since he was not conscious. Tried to brake in order to avoid the accident, but was in vain. This indicates that he was conscious. Could not react in time. Okay. Please do anything. Sounds a bit far-fetched. Hell? My friend's stuck. See everything there is here on the bridge. Don't forget to combine your observations in your notebook. Don't think so. Just conscious, unconscious. Is there more? Is there anything I can go? Oh yeah, you should continue. Oh yeah, I will accompany you. I need to go speak with the family, right? Yeah. The family, of course. I'm like, I don't have anything else here. Wasn't clear where I could leave there. So here we are, the mansion of the deceased. And there we have the wife, who is now an unsuspecting widow. Should probably deliver her the terrible news before I interrogate the servant as well. Good plan. I wish you much strength. Look at the house. The Ulrich's residence is one of the most impressive mansions in Leipzig. Look at the tools. Two tools are hung neatly on the wall. Only one tool seems to be missing. The traces of a wagon are visible on the ground. However, the tracks of the horses and the wagon itself are nowhere to be found. Some nice plants cover the outer wall of the garage. In one corner of the garden stands a small bush that is bearing black berries. Better not touch the berries. Those are deadly nightshades. They are highly toxic and can lead to hallucinations, paralysis, and even death. Looks like some of the fruit has already been picked. Excuse us for intruding into your home, but it is most essential. I'm Inspector Crazer from the Leipzig Criminal Investigation Department. Are you Edward Ulick's wife? That's correct. I'm Emma Ulick. Please tell me what it is you want from me. I regret to inform you that your husband had an accident with his motor vehicle. He had an accident? How dreadful. Is he alright? Fortunately, he died at the scene of the accident. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I have a few more questions. I'll try to help you where I can. Edward Ulick. May I ask you a few questions about your husband? Sure you can, if you think that will help you. Good driver. Your husband drove an automobile. That is still a very unusual means of transport. He was completely infatuated with that toy. I was told him it would be the death of him. It's not easy to always be right, you know? We have yet to see what the exact cause of his death was. That is why I'm here. Was he a good driver? Sure he was. He drove that thing almost every day. Even when I took the horse carriage, he would follow behind in that ridiculous thing. Because I wouldn't allow him to drive in front of me and pollute the air with those exhaust fumes. So you think an accident is out of the question? What are you saying? What else could it have been if not an accident? The car was a real death trap! Enemies. Did your husband have any enemies? There were certainly more than a few who were envious of what he had achieved in life. But enemies? No, I wouldn't go that far. And remind me, didn't you just declare that it was an accident? Determining that is my job, and I'd like to be thorough. Health. Did Mr. Ulick have any health issues? No, he was always well. He was in the prime of life and had more energy than many a youngster. Too much energy for my taste, if you catch my drift. I'm trying very hard not to. Come back to that later, all in your own time. Gardening. You take care of your garden yourself, no gardener. Indeed I do. It is a pleasure for me to see the work of my hand grow and flourish. We did have a gardener ages ago, but after I had to explain his work to him 3 times, he quit. Since then, I've been taking care of my own little domain. Notebook. Brake band broke. The brake band of the motor vehicle has striking cut edges. And what have I got to do with that? I don't even know what you're talking about. Driver set for the head wound. I know that already. Okay, so if it's crossed out, it just won't let me. Your husband drowned. It's possible, however, he may have not have been conscious when he died. When he did. Drowned? Such a horrible death. Let's hope he didn't suffer. Alright. Take a moment to collect your thoughts. I may have more questions later. Thank you very much, but it's quite alright. Mechanic's a giant. He's even taller than the prosecutor. Although the woman is handling gardening tools, she is clearly recognizable as Lady of the House. Alright, talk to the gardener. Good day, my name is Joseph Crazer. May I ask you what your connection to Edward Ulick is? You may, but do I have to answer? I imagine you must. I'm a police inspector here on a serious matter. Well, in that case, I'm Max Tolfer, Edward Ulick's mechanic. Regret to inform you that Mr. Ulick is dead. Oh? What happened? There was an accident with the motor vehicle he was driving. That is most unfortunate, but tell me, is the car alright? I will pretend I didn't hear your impertinence just this once and ask you some questions instead. If you must. Edward Ulick. Questions about your employer. Well, fire away. Morning of the incident. Have you seen Edward Ulick this morning? I heard him before I saw him. I guess the whole neighborhood did. What do you mean by that exactly? The Ulicks had a particularly loud argument this morning. You hear what it was about? I couldn't help hearing, but I don't want to cast stones. You'd be better off talking to Mrs. Ulick. I will do just that. In any case, Mr. Ulick was so riled up that he was talking crazy. I had a lot of trouble concentrating on my work. Employer. What was Edward Ulick like as an employer? What is it they say? You shouldn't speak ill of the dead? I better say nothing. One should always tell the police the truth. Well, if that's what you want, he was a cheapskate and an exploiter. The marriage. How would you describe the marriage of the Uliks? I wouldn't at all, if you don't mind. I'm still in the Ulik service. You could help solve a crime. Very well then. The marriage was not very harmonious. The two quarreled more often than they reconciled. What would they quarrel about? For that, you'd have to ask Mrs. Ulik. Sorry. Alright, automobile. Let's talk about the automobile. Of course, that's the one thing I love to go on and on about. Danger. Did the vehicle pose any danger? No more than the horse and cart would. Don't believe everything you read in the papers. The future lies in the motor vehicle. Count on it. At the moment, however, they are still rather awkward and unsafe, aren't they? There are always little setbacks at the beginning. Just think back to the first locomotives. It was argued that they were harmful to humans would certainly not prevail. And now there is hardly a village without a train station, I'll give you that. At some point, everyone will come to own a motorized vehicle. Believe me. Condition. Was the car in good working condition? Are you trying to insult me and insinuate something? That car was always in good shape. There was never a screw that wobbled or a wheel that squeaked. I would simply wouldn't have allowed it. Mr. Driver, how would you rate Edward Ulik as a driver? One of the best in Leipzig. He could drive from here to Twaka without even killing the engine once. Check notebook. The brake band is broken. The brake band of the motor vehicle has striking cut edges. I wouldn't know anything about that. Would you not? Alright, so... hold this forever. Oh, just hold it and let go. Okay. There's that. Back here, and there's also that little pot there. Garage is pitch black. Maybe there would be something interesting to discover here. This goes to show you should never leave the station without your lamp. Much better. Let's have a look then. Aha! What do we have here? Pair of scissors. The blades look quite battered. Wrong side. Over here. Can't combine it with... let's speak with her. Actually, no, hold up. Fine, I'll talk with her. Max Topfer. Has Max Topfer worked for you for a long time? And yes, indeed. Now he'll have to look for a new job, it seems. Poor man. He only took care of the motor vehicle, and without that, there is nothing for him to do here. My husband reprimanded him quite a bit. He withheld some of his wages at the end, I believe, but I actually was quite fond of him, even if he only had the motor vehicle in mind. There was a fight between them. What about? It was about a scratch in the car, the repair of which was to be paid for out of Max's wages. But you best ask the man himself. They seem to be sending me back and forth. These two? You better ask them. No, you better ask them. You better ask them. Alright, so agitated. According to Max Topfer, Edward Ulik was so enraged on the morning that he was talking crazy. I don't know anything about that. Ulik's had a very bitter argument. You had an argument with your husband this morning. How did you figure? I get it. I suppose Max can keep his big mouth shut again. It is true that the last words I exchanged with my husband were spoken in anger. What was the argument about? What it always was about. My husband unfortunately never took his marriage vows very seriously. Meaning, oh my god, did I spell it out for you? He was one unfaithful bastard. Although I probably shouldn't be saying that now since he's gone. So what is this? Some berries in the small bowl. Someone must have picked them from the bush up there. Who collects Deadly Nightshade? Can I ask her about this? Belladonna berries. Did you collect the berries from the bush behind you? Yes, what of it? Oh, something, is that so? I had no idea. Well, now you know. Better toss them before a disaster should happen. Another one. I mean... So she's claiming... Alright, let's talk with Max again. I can stop skipping lines. I heard that there was a dispute between you and your employer recently. Oh, so Mrs. Ulick is trying to discredit me now? Well, I should have seen that coming. Mr. Ulick claimed that I had damaged his motor vehicle, when it was him who caused the damage while returning from one of his nightly trips. And why did this lead to such a heated argument? Because he wanted to dock my pay for the damage. That was the last straw, and I handed in my notice. I'm standing in front of you, you know. Emma Ulick claims that she knew nothing about the poison effect of the night. I wouldn't know anything about that. Several mistresses. Not faithful to his life, and she knew this too. I don't know anything about that. I'm ready to talk crazy. I'm standing in front of you, you know. Alright. Nothing else. Oh wait, what if I use the scissors on here? D, this is where the scissors should be. Okay, that's an idea. How jealous was Emma Ulick really? Enough to get murder? Emma's motive. This constant womanizing, after all, it repeatedly led to arguments in their marriage. Possible. Okay. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Berries? Yeah! Spoke incoherently in the berries. Did Emma know the heartfulness of Deadly Nightshade or not? No, she's gardening. She knew poison. Emma Ulick had enough of her husband's womanizer. She turned the poison with the nightshade, but the dose was too small. It was only while he was driving his car. His paralysis set in. Feels like I the withheld wages and the argument. Is the quarrel between Max Topfer and Edward Ulick severe enough to serve as a motive for murder? I guess this is over here. Max's motive. Dispute about the wages, left the damage. So if I said this, he was conscious. No. It's all leading to that. Do you really know nothing about this broken brake van? How can I... help? For a sec. You go look around, there's still something to do here. One corner. Better not touch them. No. Is there? I mean, there's still something to do there. But... says there's still something to do here. If I use the scissors on him, does he know anything about the fact that they were moved? Does not need to be cut. Not need to be cut. Blades of the scissor and the edge of the brake band are very similar. Was it tampered with? There we go. Okay. Brake band is broken. And that? Brake band either tore by itself or someone tampered with it. Alright, so for scissors, you got the brake band. If I no longer will put up with being taken advantage of by his employer, cut the brake band of the motor car to provoke an accident. In his desperate attempts to brake, he did not even car to simply swerve or jump off. I think I like this answer. There was 2 murderers. I think this is the answer. Though independent of each other, Emma Ulick and Max Topher both tried to kill Edward Ulick. The wife threw poison, the mechanic through sabotage. Now a court must decide on punishment for them. And you're right, they were guilty. An investigation. I think that's the answer. Now I know what we have to do. Are we looking at an arrest? Not just one. This case had some surprising twists and turns. So I had no choice but to bring in both Emma Ulick and Max Topher. This is still so hard to read. I assumed she couldn't stand her husband's tireless infidelity any longer and decided to put an end to it once and for all. And as for Max Topher, he wanted to take revenge on the player for the bad treatment and delivered retribution for him and something. Right, and so he cut the brake band and she poisoned her husband with deadly nightshade. That is why Edward Ulick was unable to swerve or brake and drowned in the Elster. But who is really to blame for the death? Fortunately, that's not for me to decide, but for the court to have the final say. You still deserve the utmost respect for having solved this obscure case. The police of Leipzig are truly lucky to have you in their service. Not everyone would have seen the truth here. This is so hard to read. I'm straining so hard. Alright, well. It just kind of ends there. It goes, boop. Well, my thoughts are, it'd be nice if the cursor was not bound. Option for auto scroll text would be highly appreciated. Because some of that text is really fast and really hard to read. On that note, also text contrast, because that dark blue is very hard to read. I am straining my eyes to read it. And I don't like doing that, because it hurts to strain your eyes. Anyway, that was the first case of Casebook 1899, as all that is available now via demo. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also, be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, get notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!